Hey everybody, it's Mike from Orderflows, and this is a follow-up video from the video I did earlier this week on Bitcoin, and I'm using a 15-minute chart in Bitcoin. Now, the data feed comes from Coinbase. A few traders have asked me, where am I getting my data feed, right? If you download NinjaTrader, if you're using NinjaTrader, you can go to connections and you could connect to Coinbase right in here for free. It's very simple to set up. All you really got to do is you just find it under connections. It's just right in here. You would just click on it and add it. I already got it added, but you don't have to enter any username or password. All right, so that out of the way. Last time I left you, it was on the 30th, which was, what day was that? I think Wednesday. Bitcoin was coming down into this 47,100 area, 4750. And we had this zone being drawn out here, this little green box, if you can see it on the video. This was an area I was looking for support to come in, and it actually came right into that area, and it got a little bit past it. I mean, it traded all the way down to like around the 865-ish area down in here, and actually put in another support area. So we had one support area where the market came into, and it still showed more support there. Market rallied up a little bit and came right down into that support area around, the 46 950, 46 900 area. Okay, so it held for the most part here. Started rallying back up. Okay, we went all the way up to what was it here? 47. I need my glasses here. 47,700. And what was interesting about this, and really this is what makes using order flow so interesting and so useful, is seeing the actual amount of Bitcoin that trades at price levels and what is traded on the bid, what's traded on the offer. If you're just looking at normal candlestick charts, you're not taking into account the amount of Bitcoin that was trading, because we got this nice little rally going and it just sort of ran out of steam up here and started selling off. And if you're looking at the order flow, you could see that there were big sellers coming in right after we got up to around the 700 level, right? This is a 15-minute chart again, so this is a 15-minute bar, it's a 15-minute bar, 15-minute bar. So you had been trading up around, the 47, 650, 47, 700 area, and now we're starting to see some sellers come in here, working offers, right? Coming in. You can see this imbalance of 22, 12, 6. Market starts selling off another 18, another 12, another 11. This right here, if you're not using a footprint chart at all on Bitcoin, you're really leaving a lot of information on the table. Now, I create these videos. These are more meant for traders, not for, hodlers or diamond hand people. This is meant for people that are active traders. Not just buy and hold and buy and forget type traders. These are people that are actively trading in the market. So once you start seeing these sellers come in, right, this is an area we're going sideways for 45 minutes, and then the sellers came in here with supply, which weighs on the market. And what happens to the market? The market sells off naturally, right? It sells all the way down to around, the 4,700. So, it was a pretty quick drop of about $500. And then we just start going sideways, right? You've got a support area drawn in here. You could just see how the market is just going sideways for the next, what is that? It's almost half a day coming into the 31st. And on the 31st, again, we start making that move back all the way up to 700 again, 47,700. But as you get up there, right, you got more supply coming in, 47, just below 47,600. You can see there's 77 Bitcoin that traded on the offer, right, earlier, right? What was that area that we traded up to where you had the sellers coming in here, right? We got the 22, the 12, the 6, even down here is 18. But, you got that supply coming in, again, around the 47, we'll call it 47,660 area. Now you sell off, you come back up to that area, just a little bit lower. Now it's at 47,575. So you're sort of coming back into an area where you ran into supply earlier, right? You ran into supply here. Now you're making another run up towards that supply area, but you run into more supply there. okay? And you can see the big candle down, it just reverses quite dramatically, right? That's a lot of Bitcoin to be, for people to be selling at a level. People always wonder, why does the market come off from a level? Well, it comes off after rallies when there's supply in the market and the market starts dropping down. But it's sort of coming down into this 47, 130 area, 47, 100. And there is support here, right? 47, 100, you can see the 25 traded here, 62 traded here, Bitcoin, just a little bit above, around the 47, 130 area is 21. So you're running into some supportive bids on the way down, and the market's just getting right through them, okay? Which is, again, significant because normally you'd expect, this is what, 62, 25 plus 62, what is that, 87 Bitcoin, right? And it trades through that and even goes offered there. There's a decent offer. It trades 18 when it's offered out there. So it's about 100 Bitcoin. Someone came in and sold and even turned it offered. And then just below that, there's some decent bids, 25, 34, 35, 35, 31, 18. All right, that's, what is this? That's, plus the 10 here. You're looking at nearly 100 and, I don't know, 175 just roughly here, between 60, 47, 060 and, 4,700. So there's decent support literally from 47, 100 down to 47,000, which, right, if you're looking at, the amount of Bitcoin that's there, that's a couple hundred Bitcoin between these two levels. You would expect that to support the market, but it doesn't, right? It just gets right through it. And as we're in the next bar, you can see some decent offers coming here, 22, 38, 40, 28. So this is an important part. I just want you to remember this. When you have big bids in the market, right, that should act as support. But when it doesn't, as market starts trading through, and then around that level or just on the other side of it, you see heavy offers come in, you know that the market's got a head of steam because you have the big bids there to support the market, but somebody traded through it. And not only did they trade through it, but they're still got more to sell, as evidenced by what's trading on the offer, right? Because they're just not going to come through. They're going to see these big bids hit them. They're happy to hit those because that's size that they could get done without moving, but then they're still going to be working offers, because they just want to hit everything in the order book, right? Because then the market will drop further. Obviously they want to keep the market at a low level so they could attract some buyers coming in. People saying, oh, there's support there because, that's what traders like to do, right? They like to buy support. So if they're looking at this 47,100 as an area of support, but the big seller who's got a lot of supply to sell realizes that, he's just going to offer it out because now traders, that's what they're taught. You buy at support, you sell at resistance. Well, this other trader, he's got something else in mind because he's got more supply than these buyers that are coming in can afford to buy. So he's just happy to absorb all their buying coming in here, thinking that we're at support, when the support fails and the market drops further, right? It drops from, the 4,700 area, literally in 2 bars, it drops all the way down to, 46, 220 area. It just sort of goes sideways and falls over again some more. There was some support trying to come in here to prop up this market around the 46, 660 area to, 46, 620, 630. I'm sorry, 46, 600 to, 620. But it couldn't hold the market up, and market proceeded to keep dropping. And, it worked its way down. It got down to, the 45, 600-ish area down in here on this bar. But, more or less, it just kept dropping, got down here. Now, what was interesting is on this bar here, this was on the 31st, on, what was that, Thursday, there was 71 contracts, or 71 Bitcoin rather, offered out down here, okay, which, you would sort of expect that to help propel the market lower, but the market got through that. And what was interesting is, when you just had a drop, okay, from 47 right up here, 47, 600, all the way down to almost 45,600. This was like 45,700. So that was a significant move. Some of this probably could just be, I won't say margin calls, but positions getting blown out, or maybe stops, or who knows what. But when I see a big size like that coming in at a low and it doesn't help propel the market lower, I'm more inclined to think that that's not new selling, right? Because a big seller, like I don't know what you want to call a whale or something like that, isn't going to sell after you just dropped about $2,000, right? He's the one that's going to be up near the high, selling up near the high, causing the market to sell off. These people that are selling down here, or are trapped from higher levels where they bought higher and now they want to get out. But from this level, the market just more or less went sideways, on Thursday and into Thursday evening, started dropping down a bit more. Excuse me. Nothing major really happening here in these bars in the order flow. Now, when it gets down to this 45,100, now again, this was an interesting level. 45,100, there's 110 on the bid here, and it just traded right through it, no problem in that bar. And again, this sort of goes back to levels that can't hold, right? Like I was showing you earlier, you had those levels where there was like 60 Bitcoin, 38, 36, 35 Bitcoin. When you add them all up, it was significant. Here, it's all coming in at one level. So there was, again, support in the market. And see this green area from earlier, right? This is a support area. So I'm not surprised to see the support in here in the order flow. So I was kind of, expecting this to more or less hold. Then the next bar opens up and it can't even start to move higher. Okay, can't even get past the high of the previous bar. And then again, it just trades right through this 45,100 area, right? And it dropped pretty quick down to 44,300. So when you have, again, you have support in the market that isn't supporting the market. And by support, I mean bids in the market, actual bids in the order book, the real liquidity that the market just trades right. Whoops, hang on. Sorry about that. Where the market just trades right through that liquidity, it's just going to keep selling off, right? So we dropped almost, that was not $1,000, but about 700 from 45,100 down to about 44,300. Pretty quick over the next, and it's just a straight down move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars. That's on a 15-minute chart. That's just over an hour. And then again, it started to rally up, but it's sort of this half-hearted rally. Volume isn't anything spectacular, nothing spectacular in the order flow, but we did manage to rally from that 44,300 back up to more or less 40. What is that? 44,300. So, I'm sorry, 45,300. Get my handles right. And then what was interesting as you're coming up in here, there was, the delta started getting kind of small. Okay, you could see in here, you just had this nice rally up, but then you sort of get up here and you just got these small deltas of 3, of 0.7. So not even 1 Bitcoin is the delta, right? And the delta is the net difference between aggressive buyers and aggressive sellers. And there's a couple meanings of what can happen next, or what you should expect to happen next. When you start seeing deltas getting small, it's telling you that the aggressive buyers and aggressive sellers are evenly matched. However, in this case, the volume here is kind of light. It's only 81 Bitcoin. The previous bar had 137. That had a delta of 3. So you're sort of coming up here to this high, and you just sort of get this feeling that, this move is pretty much over, right? Because even though it's positive delta, it's not strong anymore. It's really kind of weak to neutral, in the sense that aggressive buyers aren't really in control that much. Even though it's positive 3 and 0.7, it's not much. You'd want to see legitimate numbers, 23, 21, 19, and it just gets small. And that's a sign, I was kind of looking for this market to probably sell off a little bit, but in this case, it just went sideways. Then, it moved down to 44,750-ish area. So not a big move, about, $250 more or less, because, you're looking in here around the 45,100, and it just comes down to, 44,800. Then it started rallying, and on this rally, you start seeing some interesting things in the order flow, right? You start seeing the order flow sequencing coming in here where bigger offers are being taken out. Okay, and again, in here, I talk about this in my course on crypto about the min delta numbers. It's very strong positive delta that you're seeing in here, and usually when you see deltas like this, it's a market that's got a head of steam, and you can see how the market just put in this nice rally. And more importantly, you're seeing, not only are you seeing decent sized bids being taken out, decent sized offers being taken out, you're seeing decent sized bids come in as well. Right, you're seeing the sequencing coming in here, so you're seeing the offers being taken out. And as you start popping up, right, you get above this area. Look at this 45, 430. And you start seeing nice supportive bids coming in, 16, 13, 13, 10. Even here, 15, 11, 14, 12, 18, 14, 11. So you're seeing that supportive bidding coming in. So not only are you lifting the offers, but you're also seeing supportive bids come in. Then you get up here to this new swing high, and at that swing high of 45,600, there's 37 Bitcoin being worked on the bid, 1830 that are being traded, right? So, plus another 10 there. So you're looking at, close to 100 Bitcoin being bid right here, and it's absorbing whatever selling is coming into the market, right? Because remember, we're sort of popping out to new swing highs here. And as you're popping out, you're seeing the supportive buying coming in. You're seeing traders working bids up here. People are selling to them, but they're absorbing it all. And when you see absorption on a move higher, chances are the market's going to move higher. And it did. It got up to, what is this? 47, almost 47,800. Okay, so now this is on Friday morning. This is about 10:30 in the morning. And it starts going sideways up in here. But again, watch what's happening in the delta, right? You got this big bar, big positive delta of 171. A lot of Bitcoin traded 600 Bitcoin in this bar, 661. And then the next bar trades 325 Bitcoin, which is nice. But the delta is what? The delta is only 4. That's nothing, right? It's kind of neutral. So now traders are pretty much, how do we call it? The traders are pretty much even. Okay, so now it's found in a level. Once you start seeing that, you're looking for maybe a market to find its value, its balance area. And it does. It just goes sideways more or less for the next hour. And again, spends the rest of the afternoon basically trading between 46, what is that, 650, and down here 40, call it 46,000, and it's just trading sideways. Does pop up in the evening time, gets all the way back up here, but again, you're running into more size up in here. Right now, this is Friday night. Then again, you start going inside, right? Small deltas, right? You got the big bar with big positive delta, and then a bar with very small delta, right? What's that mean? Oftentimes, it means the market's just going to go sideways, and it does. Hang on a second. Sorry about that. So as we come into, this is Saturday morning now on April the 2nd, right? At 7:20, we had some volatility come in here. We had this bar, right? It traded all the way down to about the 46,250 area. And, this is, let me just sort of scrunch this up a little bit here. Um, there's a saying in the markets, right? If it prints there, right, because this low of 46,250, it hasn't been hit there since the night before. And, sometimes, people get excited. They see this market start selling off. They start selling and they realize they're wrong. And then they start covering it, right? Where do they cover? They cover up here. Okay. And there's a saying, right? If it prints there, it can trade there. So I'm kind of looking for this market to come back to this area, this 46,250, right? Because this is an area that it just sort of spiked down there. And anytime I see a spike in the market like that, I'm always looking for potentially the market to come back to that area. And so this market, it spiked down here to this 46,250 area, came back up, then started drifting down where 46,250. Now I'm not going to say that, yeah, well, as soon as it comes up here, I'm going to sell, but I do know I have resistance overhead here, right up in here. I have some resistance and it's ran into that area and it's kind of holding. And as it starts coming off, I want to look, is this selling? Is there anything interesting in the selling that, would want to make me get short for a play down into this area of around 46, 250 down in here? And I start to see some offers come in, but more importantly, I'm starting to see some bids come in here. I see this 21. Now, what do I have? Okay, so this is an area that we had just been trading at, about a half hour earlier. Okay, so it's not like a new low or anything. It's an area that we came in. So I see somebody, I see traders bidding this market for, over 20 Bitcoin. But more importantly, what do I see next happen? I see it trade out and I see it go offered here, right? There's 23 trade on the offer. So, that's a flip of about, from strong bidding to strong selling, right? But in this case, it's strong passive bidding to strong passive selling, meaning that there's supply here. Now, obviously, it did trade out and the market drifted a little bit higher, then came back down to that level and it started to stay below there. Okay, so then again, what I'm going to be looking for now, again, we had just been trading in this area, so I'm looking for potential support in this market to potentially stop this move down. Because remember what I just said, if it prints there, it can trade there. So, I'm looking for reasons to get short, and I start seeing some. These are not strong bids by any mean, 5 and 6 Bitcoin, but then I see some offers, decent offers, 10. Okay. Then I see another 10 on the bid here and trades through that. Okay, maybe at this point, from 650, that's a slam dunk trade. It's an easy $250 move. I mean, people are not going to think, well, Bitcoin's 46,000. What's 250? But that's a nice move right there. That's doesn't have any resistance on the way down. And then it just hits that area, goes sideways. It does come off a little bit later. Right now, I'm shooting this video. It's about 3 in the afternoon. We had this big bar down where it dropped from basically around the 46 400 area down into the 45 700 area. Now there wasn't any big volume on the way down, but the biggest level I think was this 9 Bitcoin, or here's 11, 12, 16. Okay, so it ran into some support here. And it did trade lower, but then sort of snapped back, and again, just going sideways now on this big bar down with the big delta of minus 95. The next bar is the inside bar. Again, you usually, you're going to get a big bar down. Oftentimes, you're going to get next bar is going to be an inside bar. It's got decent delta, 23. You can see it right here. And then the next bar inside. And it's just market's now consolidating right now. We'll see what's going to happen. It did run into support, resistance up here around the 46,300 area. But again, it's probably going to get through that. I think it's probably going to start to rally. There's nothing in here really that's telling me this market is looking to sell off some more, but I could be the reverse market indicator. But again, it's Saturday afternoon. There's not a whole lot of size going on in here. You're seeing some of these bars, kind of small volumes, 58 Bitcoin, 47 Bitcoin, 54 Bitcoin. Now, again, if you're new to order flow, really all you're looking for is where the big volumes are. I mean, that's it in its basic sense. In the old days when, these guys are standing around the ticker tape watching the numbers come out. Really, they're just looking for the certain things in the order flow. And, I'm just making these videos to sort of enlighten you on, if in the future you do decide to become a more active trader than, a hodler or diamond hands. Order flow is a great tool because it's going to allow you to see inside of the bar, basically by recognizing what trades on the bid, what trades on the offer. So if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button below, and I'll see you guys on the inside.